Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to discuss the summary of the play Pygmalion. Pygmalion is a play written by George Bernard Shaw. The play Pygmalion tells or narrates the story of a poor flower girl whose name is Eliza Doolittle, who is transformed by Henry Higgins, a professor of phonetics, into a duchess, or we can say a lady of status, by teaching her to speak and pronounce correctly. It means that this is the story of a poor flower girl whose name is Eliza Doolittle, and there is a professor and his name is Henry Higgins. He is a professor of phonetics, and he tries to change, or we can say to transform, Eliza Doolittle into a duchess, or we can say a lady of status, by teaching her to speak and pronounce correctly. So let's start the play. When the play starts, we are introduced with various characters. All the characters come together on a rainy night. We are then told that Eliza Doolittle is a poor girl who is selling flowers. Other characters who were waiting in the shelter were Colonel Pickering, who was interested in phonetics and had come from India to meet Professor Higgins. Professor Higgins was also waiting there. Other characters who were waiting there were Miss Ainsford Hill, her daughter, Miss Clara Hill, and her son Freddie Hill. They had come for a theater show. Clara Hill was feeling cold and wanted to reach home at the earliest, but no taxi was available. Freddie Hill goes to hire a taxi. He gets late, and his mother and sister leave for the bus stand without waiting for Freddie. At that time, Professor Higgins was noting something. Actually, he was noting the accent and dialects of the people who were taking shelters there. Eliza was selling flowers, so she was talking to people. People told her that the man is noting all what she was speaking. The people took Professor Higgins for a spy and warned Eliza Doolittle that she might be taken to a prostitute. She became worried. Suddenly, Freddie stumbled, due to which her flowers were dashed to the ground. She started weeping. Professor Higgins gave her all the money he had. Professor Higgins bet with Colonel Pickering that he could transform that flower girl to a duchess within 6 months. Eliza heard the bet and went to Professor Higgins' laboratory and told him that she wanted to improve her English and pronunciation so that she might get a job in flower shop. Colonel Pickering challenged Higgins to take up the assignment. Higgins agreed on the condition that Pickering would pay all the expenses. He agreed, and Professor Higgins began the education of Eliza. He told his housekeeper to wash, scrub, and clean the girl. He also ordered that if she objected, she should be beaten and set right. When she was washed and cleaned, her father did not recognize her. She was completely changed. After the washing and cleaning, Professor Higgins started his tough task of teaching pronunciation. His task was tough because she could not pronounce even ABCD correctly. Higgins was hopeful because Eliza was having a receptive ear and would make speedy progress. After that, Higgins carried her to his home where Higgins' mother, Miss Higgins, was waiting for a guest. Higgins told his mother that he would teach her, that is to Eliza, phonetics for some months. Soon, uh, Miss Hill, Miss Clara Hill, and Freddie Hill arrived there, followed by Eliza, who was well dressed and looked very beautiful, but she sweared dreadfully. All the people were shocked at her use of the word baladi. This showed that she needed more time to become a duchess and to test her as uh, a duchess in ambassador's garden party. It means that there was going to be a party in ambassador's garden, and mm, uh, we are going to test her as a duchess in that party. After some time, after some days, her education completed. In the ambassador's party, she was totally changed. She impressed all those who were present in the party. She impressed them by her beauty, dress, manner, and her speech and pronunciation. Even Nepomuk, who was an expert in placing men anywhere in Europe through their accents, was deceived. It means that Nepomuk was deceived, and he said that Eliza was a Hungarian princess. So, in short, Professor Higgins won the bet. When the three, that is Professor Higgins, Pickering, and Eliza, were coming back, Higgins said that the whole process was a foolish thing. Eliza became very angry with such remarks. When they reached home, Eliza threw her slippers on Higgins in order to express her indignation or anger. She called him a selfish brute. She asked him that what would she do then that his experiment had come to an end. She changed her clothes and went out of the house. She met Freddie on the way. Both of them kissed each other and decided to pass the night together. Next morning, she went to Miss Higgins' house. She told her that the whole story. Miss Higgins gave her shelter. Higgins and Pickering searched Eliza everywhere, but did not find her. At last, they informed police. When both of them were discussing the issue with Miss Higgins, Eliza came out from her room and told Professor Higgins that she was going to marry Freddie. Hearing this, Professor Higgins got angry because Freddie was a fool and was not fit to marry Eliza. Eliza Doolittle further infuriates him that she would teach phonetics to other people and would support themselves. In the last, she married Freddie, Colonel Pickering helped her in opening a flower shop. The play comes to an end here. So it was all about the play Pygmalion, and the whole story revolves around Eliza Doolittle and her education. And Mr. Professor Hagen is trying to transform the poor flower girl to the status of a duchess, uh, and at the last, and in the last, he is succeeded in his mission. So it was all about the play Pygmalion. Thank you for watching. Allah Hafiz.